What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. Welcome to the channel. It's been a while since we streamed, but there's been a lot of chop in my opinion. Markets have moved up. Are they done moving up? We're going to find out today in the stream. I'm going to show you what I think and what I see for the next coming days or weeks. We're going to start off with Bitcoin as usual. Then we're going to move into some other coins, probably Solana, Ethereum. We'll be looking at some traditionals, the DXY and Nasdaq and all of that. But at the moment, we're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it's about to moon. It looks like it's about to moon, but where's the next level? We might see some resistance. Where's the next level? We might get a drop. Or where's the liquidity grab? Then the dump. Are we going to continue higher? How high? Just give me a second. Okay, so this is BT Shizzle. In my opinion, we might be having some higher prices. We might be seeing some higher highs and higher lows for a bit, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm not always right, but some of my targets have been right. Now, when I look at BTC, I can tell you that we are at a possible level of resistance. So this would be technically where I would think of shorting. But I'm not doing it for one reason. On the 15-minute, my EMAs are sort of curving, but we haven't seen them cross. What I like to see, if you've been following my channel, you know I like to see this. The 5 come down and the 13, and you get the cross, and preferably if it coincides with the stochastic RSI. So if the stochastics, the blue stochastic RSI comes up, kind of forms a double top, and this follows, and then we get a crossover, is fine. Or even if now the EMA starts crossing over and the stochastic blue line, let me show you the blue line. The blue line should cross down the orange line. At the moment, the orange line is below. You want the blue line. This would be the bearish cross. The blue comes under. So at the moment, I'm looking at the stochastics, looking at the EMAs. We are at a level where you could scalp a short, or even it could turn to a swing. I might be wrong, because this level that we hit today, let me get rid of this rocket, 45,180. We are at a daily resistance. It's a daily level. Look at how many times we stopped right there and dumped, or we pulled back. Now if you go left, you would notice that previously this level was an important one. 45,118, 45. There will be somewhere here around this vector candle. So our 45.5 was a level I was watching. We came there and we exceeded it. And I was telling my people in Discord, I'm expecting 45.5. If that breaks, we're going to see 46,950. If that breaks, we're going to go higher. Now things change as days pass by. It doesn't always remain constant. Your 4-hourly stochastic is pointing sharply up, but we are at the overbought region. But you have 3 strong volume candles. This might tell you that you're going to dump soon, or you're going to pull back at least. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 range, and you come and recover this entire pump. So just be aware, there is a possibility you might range or start bouncing and form one more high, but we might come down. It's a high possibility. That's on the 4-hourly. On the 1-hour time frame, you are still above your 50 EMA cloud. You're above your psychological high, you're above your daily open, so technically you're positive for the day. And if you are to come down, you would want to hold the psychological high or at least the daily open to remain positive. So 15-minute, sort of double topping. And if you want more confluence or a reason to get into the short, you look at this. I can look at this and tell you this move down, this chop looks at this move is a corrective move. And it was sort of triangulating, and usually you find a triangle, when it's a fourth wave or B wave. So I will say that, okay, since we've been pumping up all this time, since the 15K low, so far any pullback we're having is a corrective pullback. This was a corrective pullback. Over here we had a corrective chop, dump, pullback, continued pump. We had a chop and a continued pump. Now what's happening here, over here we had a chop. As you can see, we're still, we broke out of the value area high, but that doesn't mean we can't come in and even go as low as the value area low again. We've done it before. We came up, came all the way down, spiked down. Now, what I see is that we are in a corrective wave. So a corrective wave could be an ABC. So if I'm going to consider this over here, this micro move, because this was a new high. Now if this is a pullback and waiting to give our another high, I would say our pullback, for starters, I will take a fib retracement and look here from the high to the low and assume this was the A wave. My B wave came all the way to the 0.786, beautiful, hit this high. So I would say this was an A, this was a B, and possibly the rest of this was still in the B range. We were still chopping around waiting for a C. So the C wave, technically, the C of the A, B, of the B wave. So the B wave was also possibly an A and came down to a B and waiting for a C. The C wave so far came to the 0.618, and I believe that's acceptable. I'm not an elitician, but I believe that's okay. Next target will be at around 46,806, the one-to-one extension. Even higher targets at 49,583. So I would be looking at 46,950, the target that I had before, 46,800 at the moment. I'll look at that. That is a possible target. Now, if you can't get above this, then this tells me this is done. The B is done. And once I start breaking these lows and even taking out this, then I know that my C wave is fully in. I mean, is in the making. This was an A. And depending where this stops, if I suppose it comes all the way up, it stops over here at the 0.618, A, B, and C down, we could come down to 39,583. 39,583 is very possible. It's not that far away. 39,583. Where are the tools when I need them? 39,583, and then would have the next target can take us down to 36,080, and one more target in the golden pocket zone. I'll put this just here at around 41,645. So these are my next targets in case we start breaking these lows. Now, so far, as I said, I haven't got a reason to short. I believe we might have some crazy stuff going on. We have the ETF announcement, BlackRock, and have announced BlackRock and the other ones. What is the other one's name? Actually, BlackRock Fidelity has announced that the ETF fees will be around 0.2% for the first 12 months until they reach a target of, I think, 5 billion or 50 billion. Then they're going to change it. But yeah, so this is, in my opinion, a buy the rumor and sell the news. Well, buying the rumor should have been down here, or even lower, down at around 30K, 35K, 39K. Or you should have bought this wick at around 40,359. Now you could take a chance and hope there is a positive or a bullish retest of the NPOC over here. I mean the POC of this fixed range volume profile, or even the value area high at around 40,000, 44,000, or even at around 43,682. In my opinion, we're going higher. as you can see on my chart that I've marked these as NPOC, naked points of control, on the 4-hourly time frame. You could see the markings on the side. Let me increase the font so it's clear. You could see, this is for the people who are using their phones and watching the videos. I think this should be fine. You have a target here, 48,750, an NPOC, preceded by 46,530. And to the downside, 39,425 and 38,7. These are naked point of controls on the 4-hourly time frame. So when the price comes here, either one of the two things may happen. When you hit this, either you're going to get a strong rejection, or sometimes it could be a lot of stops that are going to be hit and you get a spike even higher. It's like it gives it extra fuel to shoot further. At the moment, I'm not shorting. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to watch my first target over here, and it might be hit on the live stream, 45,580, which is a point where they sold off the last time. So if I go here, I can show you 45,580. 6th of April 2022, 45,494. So this was in April 2022. We hit this target and we sold off heavily. So I had that marked out previously, and what do you know, when we hit 45 over here, we exceeded it. We went all the way $300-400 up, and we sold off all the way to 40k, from 46,532. We really exceeded it. Well, here was a 45k hit, 45,112, and we dumped. But when we exceeded it, you see we hit it again, and we released liquidity and came all the way up close to 46k, and then dumped all the way down. This was in 2 days. A beautiful trade, 6k trade. Now today, if we come back here, as you can see, we're above daily resistance. So if I mark this out and you look at this, you can see that we are above. So if I go to smaller time frame, you'll see we're trying to bounce off that daily resistance. This red line I just drew in here, I'll mark it as pink. As you can see, we are bouncing off it. 45,580, followed by 46,539. I know I have a lot of targets over here, and then 46,950. This range, we have a lot of targets in this range, so we need to watch the chart and see how is the chart reacting. I'll put on my indicator because that gives me an indication of volume stepping in. At the moment we have this wick. This usually tells me there might be a reversal, but sometimes it tricks you. Anyways, we're getting vectors at the highs. That means something's happening. We might be going to go back down. When New York market opens, we might see some interesting action. We might go all the way down, hit that value area high, or even the daily open, only to bounce off again. We might come all the way down to 43,920, then bounce off. That's almost 1,500 points. Let's measure it out. Say from the high of this candle till the daily open, that's about 1,252 points, a 2% drop. At the moment, Bitcoin is up for the day 2%. So a 2% drop would make Bitcoin like it had a 5% move for the day. Now let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum, I haven't been looking at Ethereum much, but no bearishness yet. We might be forming a double top over here. Just watch for Ethereum on higher time frames. Watch these levels. Same as Bitcoin, we are daily resistance, but look at this juicy big candle. This is all liquidity that we could come and grab all the way up to 2,350. 2,350 move for Ethereum from where it is now all the way here. That's almost 4% move. We might not do it, we might do it. It's possible. Just be aware that don't think this is all going to be the end. We're retraced almost 0.618 of this vector candle. That might be enough. On the daily, we are above the 50. We have a crossover, but our stochastics are bottoming out. We might get another run up by the opening of the next candle. 4 hourly looks like it has a sharp move up. This is an indication of a reversal. We might have that run up all the way to 2,350. On the hourly, we are topping out, but we didn't cross over yet. Even when you top out, sometimes you may still continue higher. Doesn't mean that's a dump. 15-minute stochastic may cross and the next candle may not. I think it won't. I think the New York Open will give it some more volatility to the upside. Solana, I like to look at Solana. Solana is a coin that I was expecting it to go again and retest $8, but I was wrong. It happens. Levels to the upside, I can only see for now 117 as last week's high. You had a beautiful double top over here. You could have taken advantage on this next retest. You could have taken a fib, pull it from the high that you had over here, retrace to the bottom here, and look at the bounce, almost exactly at the 0.618, and you take that short and you ride it down. Dailies above the 50 looking good, bottoming out, bullish crossover for the daily. For hourly, we have more room to Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum are all looking the same. But Solana is a bit, it's leading, it's a bit topping out on the 4 hourly. It's very close to topping out. I mean, reaching the peaks. 1 hourly, Solana is leading. We might have a bearish crossover, not yet. All these coins, let's just go quick and scroll. I will find you something. I want to look at, this is what I like to do when I'm looking for a trade. Look at the ones that had crazy pumps. This had a 17, Stacks had a 17% gain for the day. Where's Stacks? STX. There, 17% gain. That looks like a good short. It is leading. It may hold out or pull back and wait for the Bitcoin pump only to dump. Only to pump further than dump. We didn't get the bearish crossover. It's really riding. Hourly already in the highs. 4 hourly might be at the highs as well. Look, 4 hourly might be forming the double top I talk about. Daily, double bottom. Daily has room to the upside, but 15-minute, that daily candle is crazy. Look at that. You might have a small pullback. Look here, you had only 2 days. You pull back maybe 50% of that and bounce off again. So just be careful with this coin, but you're very algorithmically extended from the 50 EMA. I mean, you need to come down on this daily candle from where you're at now. You need to come down all the way 36%. That will bring it down to $1.24. That's a nice trade, man, with leverage. 4 hourly extended away from the 50. You could trade it back to the 50 and take your chance, but you need to look at where are you with respect to the chart. So this is how you chart it out. Now if you look at it on the daily, not much data over here on the daily on this chart. Let me take a look at the next chart. Stacks, it's already dropping slightly. Let's see if we have more data. Yeah, we have slightly more data on this chart. Look at that. Beautiful, huge cup and handle. Now, we've exceeded this high. Next high, we are exceeding our March 2022 highs. Looks like Stacks is running up for the liquidity. We are at a level where we sold off from, some resistance over here at this level exactly. So ideally, this could be a point where you attempt a short. It's not a point where you short. Yeah, it's not a point where you short, but I can tell you, looking at it, let's look at the candles and try and see something. Let's compare something. Now, look at that. Let's go on the daily. Those are big candles, but if you look at it relatively, volume has been going down on your move up. So I would say you're kind of reaching the peak. That doesn't mean it's gonna dump now. But you are kind of reaching the peak. 4 hourly volume spiked up very high. 1 hour, very big volume. Look at that. And I would consider that at the high. So that's a coin I would short. Yeah, I would short this. But with the stop loss, obviously, I'm not going to go all in. I'm not going to put the house on it. You know what I mean? I'm going to short it, but I'm going to short it wisely. Calculated risks. Now that was stacks at 17%. I'm sure there are more crazy ones that have gained so much today with this move up from Bitcoin. We have injective protocol, also crazy. 15-minute. All of the coins look more or less the same, you know, when I look at them in the sense of stochastic RSI. Injective protocol, we are at the highs. I mean, you literally have tapped last week's high and exceeded the previous week's high. You are at high peaks, so you would be looking at any indication of rejections for you to attempt. This is way expensive at the moment. I mean, it was way down here. This was October 2023. We were at $9. Look at that crazy gain that it has. It's way overextended in my opinion. It needs to come back to reality. Now looking at that, I think if I was to trade this, same thing, I would be looking for a short now, not a long, but not just yet. We reached the high average daily range. This would be the London high, and sometimes London sets the high of day. So when New York open, it might spike up and then come down. Sometimes it just continues dumping. So you need to be careful. Injective protocol, let's look at something else. There must be one much crazier than stacks. Stacks 17, I think we could get something in the 20s or even 30s. I don't have anything on my list, but let's go back to traditionals. Now let's go to the US 100. Where's Bitcoin? Let me keep my eye on Bitcoin. There, we're back at 45K. Sorry, I'll go back to Bitcoin. Let me look at my Fibonacci channels over here. I like to look at them because they do give me confluence. My next channel is way up here, 47,250. To the downside, it's at around 41K. So that's so far away. Now going to my chart over here. Oh la la, something's happening. This was that level I just marked out, right? Remember, we have some CME gaps. We have plenty of CME gaps. So if you go to the CME chart, I'm going to show you the CME gaps that I see in the chart. We have plenty of CME gaps. Okay, we have one gap over here, and I'm going to mark all of them so you can see we do have a lot of CME gaps. People are not paying attention to them. Doesn't mean we're going to go down there, but we did go down to 20K and fill that gap, right? So that's one CME gap between 39.5, and remember we have a POC down there between 39.5 and 40,300. Now if you go here, we have another CME gap down here. We have another CME gap here. At 20K, just say 20K, 20 to 21K. Then we have other ones that are much lower, but I won't look at them. We had a CME gap here that got filled. Other gaps have got filled, but others haven't. So you see, that's a gap. Actually, it's not a gap. No gap here, no gap here. You have a slight gap actually. Yeah, you do have a few gaps over here. Look at that. I think there is an indicator you could use. Yeah, there is an indicator you could use, CME gap finder, but it won't show you. Technically that's maybe not a gap because you had a candle, but there is a gap over here as well. You have several gaps over here. But the thing is they've been filled by a wick, so technically I would take them off the chart. I won't consider them as gaps because their wicks go all the way up, so it's not a gap. But over here you have one at around 40k, 39k, and you have one at around 20k, as I said. Yeah, so that's the CME gaps. The CME chart on the 15-minute, is it even trading at the moment? Yeah, we're trading. We had a bearish cross down. Let's see the Bitcoin chart. Do we have a bearish cross down on the stochastic? There you go. There you go. We had a spike down that caused the stochastic cross down. You need to be careful with these charts. You don't want to trade too early. But as I said, 45, 180 is a good level. You have a daily resistance layer, and you're still, you're not at a bad level to consider short, but you need your stops to be above these. New York hasn't opened now, so you need to be careful, because when New York comes, it might come with a vengeance. It might even spike up, then spike down. So I'll be careful if I'm going to consider a short. So yeah, looking at that 15-minute, we had the cross down. 4 hourly, still looking bullish, but we have 3 big green candles. That gives me some reason to be concerned. Now this could mean a beginning of a range, then we might come down. We need to be careful with that. Now the DXY, lately the DXY hasn't been respected. I mean, the charts all over the place. You have things going up at the same time with the DXY, which this would be my indication maybe to go short, maybe this spike, but let's see what happens. We haven't broken down the 50, so essentially a better short would be 15 minutes, breakdown below the 50, or bearish crossover the EMAs with the stochastic, because now what could happen is that your stochastic gets oversold while you're still holding up the range, which would be a bullish thing. Your stochastics are oversold, but you're still up, so that means the stochastic has room to go up again. That means you can get a further pump. So just be careful with that. Let's look at the 5-minute and 3-minute. See, that was a good indication over here. Let's see what happens next. There you go. That's the craziness. We're starting the craziness. And that's what happens when New York is almost gonna open, I guess. That's where the charts are acting crazy. People are going short too early, so the chart is acting crazy. The chart is responding to people's craziness. I will look at the DXY now, and we're gonna take a look at the DXY, because the DXY If you've been a follower of this channel, you would know that I look at the DXY, try to find confluence, like when the DXY moves up, the markets move down because they're traded against the DXY, or in crypto, in the case of crypto, is USDT. So that usually happens, but sometimes they decouple, they don't go together, so it's fine. You just need to be aware of that. You just need to keep that in the back of your head, keep it in mind, and when it happens, you're alert and you know that it's happening. Let's look at the DXY for a second. Nasdaq opened positive, Dow Jones negative, positive for the ES mini futures. Let's look at the DXY on the 3-minute. It's trying to get a bounce. Sometimes you don't find the correlation between the DXY and Bitcoin, but at times you do find it, because sometimes Bitcoin decouples and just goes along with USDT. So for me, looking at USDT sometimes is more beneficial than looking at the DXY. So if I go down to USDT, way down there, I think USDT, where's my USDT? So many things in the chart, hard to keep up with everything. USDT. Unbelievable how when you want something, you cannot find it. There you go, USDT. So there, the USDT, US tether, US dollar tether on the hourly, we're just ranging. It looks like we're trying to make a pump, producing a vector on the hourly above the 50 EMA. On the 15-minute, we could be topping out over here. Same as Bitcoin already had a bearish crossover. We haven't had it. Green candle. A possible pump in USDT could lead to a further dump in Bitcoin. We've been ranging. So the market, essentially, all of this means that the market has been holding out. Don't forget, USDT last time we were at 1 trillion. And we're down to 1.01 trillion, but we were at 1.3 trillion, 1.003 trillion, or 1.03 trillion. Now we're at 1.00 trillion, so we dropped. On the hourly, we have room to the upside, possibly 4 hourly could be the same, sharp, daily, bearish crossover, 15-minute, kind of a double top, a good indication to maybe consider short. So I'll be careful with the USDT. That means I should be bullish on the market. The market is up 2%, and I mean Bitcoin. We're having that big red candle going down. Let's see how far. This is just before the New York market decides to, the US Brinks box to start. So that could tell me that might be a false move, so I'll be careful with that. Now, we need to be careful when we trade sometimes. You need to know what are you risking. But this is an indication, but as you can see, stochastics are very close to bottoming out, and Bitcoin hasn't had a bearish crossover. So let's see what happens. This shouldn't be, I would think that this, if you miss this entry, I would believe that you could possibly get another chance to enter. You might get another bounce. Stochastics will bottom out. Maybe you get another bounce, possibly to the 0.618 of this move. So if you say, okay, this was the high of this move, down to here. Maybe you come down, then you bounce to here, 44.864. Maybe, depending how low you go. Some people who look at this as a bullish pattern, it could be because this is like a candy cane. Candy cane patterns can result into an explosive move to to the upside. Candy cane, or some people call it the Livermore pivot. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Unbelievable. I can't find my way. Can't find my tools. Can't find... Something is not right. Excuse me. Oh well, I can't find what I want. So yeah, as I was saying, the pattern over here, the candy cane, Livermore pivot, it usually results into a spring up. So you might have a spring up very soon in the charts. I'll just be careful with attempting a short here. Very tempting, but it ain't going nowhere. Look at that. It might be a trap. So if you are to consider it, have your stops possibly above these highs. Now today's high was all the way here, 45,188. I said 45,180. So I'm gonna draw horizontal. 45. Just be careful. It doesn't look like it's ready to drop yet. 45,183. And I go to the left and I look at the chart. 45,183. A strong sell-off point. Over here we broke out it and we came, retested it, bounced off, broke down. Over here several times we wicked. Look at that. Wick, wick, wick. So it is a level of importance. Well, down here this wick, you can't call it as that because it went all the way down to 41k. But over here, almost a perfect retest. 2021 September. It was a level we ranged. You could say it's like a point of control or something. It's a level that we like bouncing off from. Look at that, all around. So it is an interesting level, 45,180. If we can break it with vengeance, and I don't mean just a wick, I mean break it, get support above. So this is my level. I want us to get support above, so to start being bullish. Otherwise there's nothing much to talk about, honestly. Ethereum, if we are to move up in Ethereum, I'll give you the targets. What do I think of Ethereum? Ethereum holding up very well. This is some sort of double top. You have bearish divergence. You have higher highs in price, lower highs in stochastic. That is bearish divergence on the daily. So that's a bit scary. Smaller time frames, 4 hourly. You might have a bullish divergence or something. Lower lows, higher lows. So that's your bullish divergence. You're gonna get your bounce. You're getting your bounce now. But the daily showing me bearish divergence. Solana, if anything, Solana has hit resistance already once up here at 127. Now if you come here, this is how you mark a chart and look at possible levels. Look at this wick over here, and then you look at this wick over here, and you say if Solana is to go up, then those are the possible zones where it will have trouble before getting to this clear wick over there. Then we'll be talking about other levels. So for me, if I'm to look at Solana, I know that if Solana is to go higher, 136, 143, 158. To the downside, I have many levels, but we're so far away, it's not worth talking about. We're holding the 50 on the daily. We have a bullish crossover. Things are looking good for it. Nasdaq on the other hand, Nasdaq is just trying to get to that new all-time high it formed. On the daily, stochastics, bullish crossover. 4 hourly also, same thing, topping out possibly. 1 hourly, 4 hourly, it's topped out, but it's showing me that it's attempting to make another crossover, so possibly a double top on the 4 hourly. 1 hour time frame has room to the upside. 15 minutes showing me some indication that possible rejection from the 200, and we might be coming down. But this is all before the main session where the New York and the London session meet, and you get a lot of volatility. So I'll just be looking at this and the levels that I've told you about, and I'm going to look for a reaction. I hope you liked the update. If you did, hit the like, smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, join the free Discord where I post my trade setup ideas sometimes, and when I don't post videos, I do give updates every now and then. More trades. I'll see you on the next one.